One, I don't know if they have the ammo to move up.
Minnesota got there.
San Fran.
I mean, if they pass a Gabbard, I don't know that they're going to be
willing to move up. So, maybe we don't see. How about Oakland?
Yeah, supposedly Oakland really likes Colin Kaepernick. That was another rumor today that Oakland's trying to trade in the first round to get Colin Kaepernick.
So 25 or 27 could be the spot. And if both the Chiefs and Seahawks try to trade down, I think you'll wait that extra pick for Kaepernick if you're them. Try and get better value. But that's about it. Maybe there aren't a lot of teams that are going to take these QBs, and we'll just sit pretty in round 2 and see if any want to pull the trigger like Buffalo or Cincinnati.
Well, this might still be too big of a jump, 25. Maybe that's the issue. 28, 32. We know New England's going to trade the 28th pick, don't we? I mean, if there's any type of offer out there, it's hard to envision the Patriots actually making 2 first-rounders selections. I mean, the Green Bay Packers, I think they would obviously love to dip out. Ted Thompson has a history of doing that.
Moving down.
I think for the teams that would come up for a quarterback, it's still a little too rich here at 25. I think the cost is just too prohibitive. Yeah,
and you mentioned Greg Little to the Steelers. If they want that, then they can move down too. So lots of possibilities. Now, if Seattle does stay here, Scott, then what do you think the pick is?
Well, I had Jimmy Smith. They need a corner. He's talented. I don't think Pete Carroll's going to be scared off. Pete Carroll's players coach. I think he'll believe he can handle Jimmy Smith. So I'll say Jimmy Smith if they stay.
Jimmy Smith if they stay. Dark horse here. I don't know if it will happen. Gabe Carimi. To play that right tackle spot, lock down 2 offensive tackle spots for years to come. You could kick him inside if you needed to. I think it might be a little bit of a dark horse, a pure value pick by Pete Carroll. If they're scared away by Jimmy Smith, then go the opposite and nab a guy like Gabe Carimi. Let me.
This is the point too now for those who follow the mock draft contest where. The way it works is you get 3 points for a direct hit. That means if you match exactly the player in the team, you get 3 points. And then you get 1 point for every player in the first round that goes in the first round. So this is the point. Right now, the only player that for my mock draft that got in the first round that I didn't have in the first round was Christian Ponder.
Yeah.
So I've got 24 points right there, then plus 3 points for every direct hit beyond that. So that's kind of how they score the mock draft contest. The one thing I don't like is that if you match a player, for example, let's say the Washington Redskins trade up into the first round and take Colin Kaepernick. Yeah. Well, I have Colin Kaepernick going to the Redskins in round 2. I don't get any points for that.
Yeah, because they only count round 1, which, it's understandable to get as many mocks as they can. Not everyone's going to have a second round.
Yeah, I suppose. I just think if you can match up player and team, that's the whole point. But, this is the point of the draft now where you start losing some points, where guys sneak into the back end of the first round that you didn't necessarily expect or that were borderline and could have gone either way.
Well, and good thing putting Phil Taylor there at 32 to sneak him in. So Seattle down to their last minute here. And don't know if the last minute trade will happen. Yeah, and the chat. There you go. The chat room is buzzing. Maybe if Jimmy Smith keeps falling, maybe to the Jets. Rex Ryan does love his corners. Not afraid of the character.
I don't know if he gets past Baltimore either. I think Ozzie Newsome that says, "Hey, I got Ray Lewis and Ed Reed. They're not going to let this guy be a knucklehead."
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. I'm trying to think, character-wise, how Ozzie's drafted.
I tell you what, I wouldn't rule out Daquan Bowers for Ozzie. That's kind of Ozzie's MO. He waits for a guy to fall into his lap, and there was some talk at one point in the process of Daquan Bowers being outside linebacker. No, he was never that, but he could be a 5 technique. I think I wouldn't rule that out. I think he could bulk up and be a 5 tech.
Yeah. I think it's possible. But when you just went with Sergio Kindle last year for a medical nightmare that really didn't work out for 1 year, you're going to take that shot again?
Well, it didn't work out for the reason the medical concern is. He he ended up having that fall down the stairs.
Right.
It wasn't because of the medical concern at the time. It was kind of a separate issue. So it wasn't necessarily the issue he had that burnt them. It was something separate.
Well, this pick is in for Seattle. It's going to be interesting to see. I still like that Karimi. I think that's a sleeper pick that they get their bookend tackles and protect Charlie Whitehurst.
Let's get Jimmy Smith here. I need some points.
Jimmy Smith. Let's see. Yeah, I'm just kind of waiting in anticipation. I'm trying to stay away from Twitter now and the chat, so I don't. They've tipped some of these picks to me, so I'm trying to stick away.
Well, Karimi's not at the draft, is he?
I don't think so. No, I think Ingram's the last first-round pick left. But I think Schefter's been tweeting out the picks pretty early. Whoa. Wow. James Carpenter.
Going to Buffalo at the
Buffalo top of round 2. You know, we saw him down in Mobile. I still remember that weigh-in was my first Mobile event, and I see James Carpenter. I'm like, who is this joker that's walking in all fat and ugly over here? And then, bam, man, he gets on the field, played like a legitimate left tackle, solid strength, I think solid build. He's played on, obviously, a big-time run scheme, a guy that can play outside a tackle, inside a guard, pretty versatile.
Well, I think that's an interesting thing here. They announced him as a guard.
As a guard.
He's not a right tackle.
No.
Definitely not a right tackle, so he's going to play guard, and that's 3 guards now in the first round. Or, well, Pouncy guard / center, but 3 interior offensive linemen.
3 interior offensive linemen. And I think it was pretty obvious that he was creeping up a bit, but I didn't think first round outside shot. I know that's kind of amazes me there.
I don't think it's terrible value. Like I said, I had him going early in the second round. There was talk that he could maybe sneak into the back end. Yeah, he went a little higher than I thought was possible, but not that much. I mean, Christian Ponder was a bigger reach.
Yeah, I think Christian Ponder was a bigger reach as well. Though, I'm comfortable with that for positional value. But here's the thing. If they wanted an interior lineman, then I think it's a good pick. Because I think he probably is the best, quote, offensive guard available, if you look at it from that sense. I think he's a better fit inside than Karimi is. So if that was really their look. So now we're looking at Baltimore, 26. We have Jimmy Smith still on the board, Daquan Bowers still on the board, Mark Ingram still on the board. Ozzy's the best player available type of guy. Where does he look here, Scott?
Jimmy Smith.
Jimmy Smith.
Yep.
Oh my, it's like too good to be true in a sense. Biggest need, great value, but are they willing to take that shot on a lot of those off-the-field concerns? Like you mentioned, Ed Reed, Ray Lewis, will they keep him in mind? Is that somewhere that you want to look? And they've been very interested in Muhammad Wilkerson as well. So I think that could be an intriguing selection. Karimi's still on the board, which who knows with Gaither how long he's still going to be around. I think there's a lot of possibilities and a lot of good value here for the Baltimore Ravens, and I think the rich is just going to get a little bit richer.
Yeah, I mean, I think either way, assuming that the options, if you accept the premise that the options are Smith or Bowers, they're looking at a top 10 talent maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, and, like you mentioned before, this might be the place for him this might be the place for Jimmy Smith to fit in and to really get his head on straight, because they're not going to let it happen. But I think there's just plenty of possibilities for Baltimore. I mean, we both think Karimi's a pretty solid player who's still on the board.
Right.
Wilkerson I think has that upside, and like I said, I think he's going in those next 4 picks. I get this odd feeling it's going to be Wilkerson, though I know that's not the Ozzie Newsome move, but that's going to be my guess with this pick. Is just I feel like they want that last defensive end piece to kind of finalize their defensive line. Nada, Cody, you get Wilkerson in there, kind of a high upside, more of a pass rushing guy, and corner just seems to be that one position that Ozzie Newsome doesn't worry about in the first round too much.
And